Yes, boys, back with another video. Pretty buzzing today. Managed to finally pass this 50k count. It's been going on for a while, but stuck with it. I was patient, and it's finally passed now. So I'm going to take you through the trade and what happened today. So straight into things then. We had heavy manipulation going into the Friday, and then back again on the Monday. So when something like this happens, what you usually do is you revert to any high time frame PD arrays. That's where you're guessing price is going to rebound from. If it manipulates aggressively, it will likely expand aggressively as well. So the first thing that I marked up on my chart was this weekly FVG. Moving on into the lower time frame then. So as you can see, we had that reaction there. So on the 10th, we had that heavy displacement down into it, and then we gapped up going into the Monday. So we gapped up and left this big NWOG here. This there's a gap in the market, which price will likely reverse from. So this is what I had looking into the day. The obvious reaction on the weekly fair value gap here, and then the obvious NWOG, which the market had yet to displace into, which is where I was looking to target for my reversal. In terms of my targets for the day, first thing you got to realise and notice, have we manipulated above or below midnight price? As we're bullish going into the day, we hadn't at this particular point, so you can use that as one of your targets. Secondly, have we manipulated above or below the 8:30 opening price? This is when the New York Stock Exchange opens up for the pre-market. Have we manipulated above this point? No, we haven't. This shows that the market is very heavy and perhaps ready to reverse if the order flow is bullish. So you're waiting for that extra confirmation. We had equal highs here. So we had these as the target. You can see multiple equal highs. And then we also had the London range high here. Next row on liquidity. Regular trading hours. You can see here we had this massive opening range gap, massive gap in the market, which will want to be filled at some point. You can't neglect a gap this big in the market. Price will very much look to fill at least a portion of it. So this here was another massive liquidity target. Okay, so now that we've got our liquidity points highlighted, you can make the assumption that price is going to look to take some of these at least. So this is what you do. So you kind of use them as stepping stones in the market. So you've obviously got these equal highs there, which are your first target point. You got your London range high, then you've got this whole opening range gap here, as well as the midnight opening price, which hasn't been tapped into yet, which the algorithm will look to refer back to. So now it's just waiting for that market reversal. What do we have? We've got short-term sell side here, which hasn't been taken. So in terms of looking for any targets from the sell side perspective, they've all been taken apart from this low. So going into the opening bell at 9:30, the first thing you're going to look for is this liquidity to be taken. And that's what happened here. So we got that manipulation. We had these lows which hadn't been violated yet. So you've got to expect them to be taken first. So 9:30 price opens up. We obviously have this gap here. Doesn't tap into it at all. Doesn't go above the 8:30 opening price. So it just manipulates straight away, which is perfect, right? So you've got the first purge here of liquidity, and then you have a second purge here. And the second purge goes deeper into that NWOG, which I said is a massive draw on liquidity and a good reversal point. So as soon as price enters here, so during the first 15 minutes, we had that manipulation. Now you can expect a reversal point going into the next half an hour of that session. So straight away here, you can see we formed a fair value gap. So what you're looking for here is how does price react to these PD arrays? So we're obviously looking for longs from here. So you want to establish short-term order flow as being bullish. And that's the first thing we had. So we had price rebound here off this fair value gap after taking sell side liquidity here, sell side liquidity there, coming into the NWOG, and then taking out this further low. And it actually did take out these as well. So you had 3 purchases of short-term liquidity, which is a very good reversal trigger. Second thing you look for, changing the state of delivery, which we had here. So technically, changing the state of delivery occurs as soon as price trades above this candle opening here of this successive candles. So as soon as price is tapped above here, changing the state of delivery has occurred. And then your next interest is your inversion fair value gap here. So price should hold the inversion fair value gap. And then we also obviously have this fair value gap there. And then, which also aligned perfectly, was we had SMT divergence between these two lows, which is perfect because that's within a fair value gap, so that's valid. That's momentum SMT. And then also check the timings. Happened during the macro period, so we look to execute between 9:45 and 10:15, exactly around this point. So for me, already this has ticked off multiple factors. So we've got a reversal point with the NWOG. We've taken out key areas of liquidity. There's no more sell side objectives that the market will want to take. we've had 3 purges of liquidity here. We had obvious purge here, 1, 2, and then a third one, 3. We've got SMT divergence. Short-term order flow has been determined here with this fair value gap where price was supported from. And then we've had the change in the state of delivery here with this inversion fair value gap, which confirms it. So now that's happened, I'm looking for my entry. And because I'm so confident, I enter off the next PD array, which is here, this inversion fair value gap. Because we closed above it so strongly, after already having supported order flow here, I'm expecting this to be left open and act as a breakaway gap. So we've obviously got a breakaway gap here, and then we have another breakaway gap here. So I'm not expecting this to be filled now because the change in the state of delivery has already been confirmed, and I'm expecting price to run very quickly. So you can see on my executions where I entered here. So it was right there. As soon as this candle closed here, we dipped back down. That is exactly where I entered. And then I put my stop underneath this candle low. So it was a 4-to-1. And in terms of my targets, how did I do this? So if we go back on the 5 minute, I can show you. I look at the quadrants here of this open range gap. So we had here the 75% level, and this is where I targeted. So I got out roughly there. So 75% of the open range gap is where I look to target. So you can see where I got out there. Perfect was about a 4-to-1. Obviously entered here, put my stop underneath this big candle range here. Because I'm not expecting price to come back here, we've had big displacement. Price doesn't need to come here, it won't want to. It wants to chase the draws and liquidity, which is up there. So for me, it was just, once I understood the order flow and the direction it was going, it was very easy for me to have faith in this trade. And then I got out as soon as I made $1,000 on it. So you can see how much I made today. 992, and that put me over the balance of 53,000, which is enough to pass the account. And then obviously you had the London range high there, which was another draw on liquidity, as well as the rest of the gap which got filled. And then the midnight opening price, which is where price is stagnated now, which is exactly what you'd expect. Yeah, so that's it for today. That's my video. That's all I've got to show you. Very happy, obviously, past the account. It's been pretty tough, to be honest, mentally the past couple of months trying to get this over the line, but it's given me confidence now. And I've just been trying to make sure my risk management is top level. So yeah, that was the end of the video, guys. Pretty simple trade, like I said before. Very happy with it. Just showing you the steps and execution, how you should be thinking in your mind when you're determining should I enter in this trade or not. Very happy, obviously, past the account. It's been pretty tough, to be honest, the last couple of months, mentally more than anything, but happy to get through it. And hopefully a bit more progression now, and I can start making some good profit.